Okay, everyone. Hello and welcome to part 3 of our webinar series on industrial remote connectivity. Today, we will be discussing the ingenious use of our remote access solutions by a machine builder. So before we start, again, we encourage you to please post questions in our Q&A box during our session, and we will get to those at the end. So now, without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce Vishal Prakash, our product manager for IoT and remote connectivity. Take it away, Vishal.
So welcome everyone. As Julianne said, this is part 3 of our series on industrial remote connectivity with the focus on improving productivity. This is the last in this series, and today we're going to look at how a customer of ours used the solution to improve productivity by a couple of different ways. First was being more efficient with their support, and second, really using the solution sort of as an additional revenue stream for customers that to provide the additional service. Now, before I do get started, I wanted to say that I hope all of you are safe and secure given the current health crisis. So with that, let's move ahead. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to be really talking about how a machine builder, so an existing customer of ours, used our solution to really increase both their productivity and revenue. Now, before we get started, a quick introduction on who is ProSoft. So ProSoft has been in business for over 30 years. We are a global organization with offices located strategically around the globe. We partner with major industrial automation vendors, whether they're Schneider, the Rockwell, to really be their communications arm. And our strength is in two main areas. We pretty much are the best choice when it comes to connecting disparate protocols on the factory floor. We connect over 40 different protocols, and in those 40, we've got over 120 different combinations. And we support everything from many of the legacy protocols to many of the newer ones like OPC UA and IEC 61850 and DNP3. The other thing that ProSoft is very well known for, and our strength, is the ability to transport your data either through wired or wireless means safely and securely. So if you think about both of those two steps, that are strengths, which is this industrial protocol translation connectivity, they are the foundations, they're the linchpins for any IIoT journey or any IIoT project. So ProSoft sort of becomes naturally your first step when you start talking about any IIoT project or journey. Okay, so let's start off by defining who's a machine builder. Now, machine builders are typically highly specialized. They are what's called as an original equipment manufacturer or an OEM. And they have solid technical expertise, and they really end up complementing and providing expertise, in case of manufacturing or whatever the process is, to complement the existing expertise that the organization and the foundation already has. They typically they've got a relatively small footprint because it's so highly specialized. But the one thing that's common against many of the OEMs is that they have a truly global customer base. The main area of shipping the machines or their products might be one, but typically these end up being used throughout the globe. So in our case, our machine builder is somebody who builds machines where the machines sort of provide adhesives for industrial applications. So things like sticking pieces of cardboard together or wood. So it's sort of this, high precision industrial adhesive application machines. They've been in business for quite some time, well over 45 years, and they truly have got a global base with customers from anywhere from Chile and Japan, so all around. And they're really well known for their excellent customer support, their service, their delivery, and of course, being in business for such a long time, they have got a very good customer base and sort of a very strong customer base as well. So the problem with this machine builder is that they really wanted to reduce. And remember, I said that machine builders typically have got a small footprint that also includes a smaller staff or the number of people that are really experts in what they do. So it is not very efficient to have these experts continuously travel to solve customer problems. They're looking at different ways to do that. So what they're really looking is to reduce the amount of travel that they were doing to resolve customer issues. They also wanted to be able to manage these customers both domestically and internationally more efficiently. And a huge part of that is reducing the travel. And then they also wanted to see if they can charge customers for support of value-added services, whether it is customers who are out of warranty or customers who want extended warranty or out of hours service support. So they were really looking to see how can they basically come up with a service model that allows them to generate revenue, basically new revenue as a new stream for the business, while at the same time ensuring that they don't forget about their core, which is designing those machines and ensuring that their customer support is top-notch. So the solution, and before I talk about the solution, I really wanted to talk about the benefits of remote access. And of course, the solution is remote access, but I think it's important to understand sort of the overall benefits of remote access. And the remote access today is no longer a nice to have, especially if you're given today's current situation with COVID-19. It's a necessity. And more customers are tuned to it. They understand the value this remote access provides. So if you look at it, the key benefit to remote access is the improved mean time to repair, or MTTR. That then has an impact of the ability to improve your uptime, which means you're able to fix things quickly, so your uptime improves. You're able to manage your support costs, because now you don't have to pay for expertise to travel, and so forth. Better first incident analysis, so the ability to remotely diagnose a problem, then make the decision to say, okay, if you do need to go to site, then you're kind of very well equipped to actually go to site and resolve that issue quickly and efficiently. Access to outside expertise to help solve problems. So again, we all know with many of this, there's always your machines that really help make automation easy. They help ease a lot of tasks, but still there's this human intelligence, human experiences is involved that can help identify problems, solve problems. And especially if you look at people that work in an organization for many, many years, they build up this experience, this expertise. And I think one of the big areas where remote access can help is when this person retires, and today, if you look at the U.S. labor statistics, for example, you've got a significant part of our population. In fact, the percentage is anywhere between 30 and 40% that are in greater than 50, and the percentage are up slightly if you sort of go over 60, where they're starting to think about retirement and so forth. But at 60, and if you're able to retire, that's fantastic. You can keep going as well. But you still have all of this knowledge with you. And if the company wants to take advantage of that knowledge, remote access is a great way to do it, because nobody wants to come back when you've created all these retirement plans, and let's say you're on the road or you're off to Hawaii or whatever it is. Getting them back or getting access to them could be significantly could be a challenge. But with remote access, then they're able to connect remotely and provide you with that ongoing expertise. So it really helps with that. And then, of course, operationally, the ability to instantly access critical operational data, which might help you with making some real-time business decisions, is another benefit of remote access. Now, the solution is, obviously, as we're presenting, is ProSoft's remote connectivity solution. And our foundation our benchmark is ProSoft Connect. This really is the foundation. It's an online solution platform where we had the advantage when we designed the solution and we released it. We looked at what's available in the market. We looked at all of the feedback we received from our customers, and the focus was in two things. The user experience has to be intuitive and natural. So super simple, super easy to use, which is a key criteria for OT in any organization. And then, of course, that it needs to be ultra secure. So we've employed defense in depth and multiple levels of security to ensure that ProSoft Connect is very, very secure, which that security is a key KPI for the IT of any organization. So this is very much a solution that's OT friendly, IT secure, by focusing on those two attributes. The solution is a managed service and it is managed by ProSoft. It is super reliable, available, and scalable because of the design, the way we did it, which is completely cloud native, so no things like software. And we know with the power of cloud computing today, a solution is very quickly scalable, but at the same time, highly reliable because of all of the built-in redundancy. ProSoft Connect, like I said, is a foundation, is the application stone, and in that today we run multiple applications. Today we've got two. The first one is Secure Remote Access, which is what we're talking about, and the other one is PDN, or Persistent Data Network, and this is to create sort of an always-on remote telemetry network to connect all of your remote sites. So really, this remote connectivity solution, the ProSoft Connect solution, said it was really reimagined compared to a lot of it out there. Now, remote connectivity solutions have been in the market for quite some time. ProSoft has been in this space for just over 3 years. It's our fastest growing business unit with double-digit growth every year. And that's fundamentally because of the design to what we focused on and how the solution is being built, very much focusing on it being OT friendly and IT secure. Now, I did say we're going to be focusing on remote access. So if you look at remote access, this is an on-demand. So this is not an always-on connection. You connect to perform a very specific task, whether it is updating the PLC or the HMI, but it's always a specific task. You connect, and then once you accomplish that task, you would disconnect. The remote access solution from ProSoft is all about connecting to a specific machine cell. So if you think about a factory or an organization, you're not trying to connect to the entire plant network or the entire factory network, because that significantly increases the vulnerabilities. What we're talking about is accessing a very specific machine cell, a part of a machine, a part of a production line. So you can be very focused, just connecting to that part and resolving the issues, if any. It's super simple to set up. There's basically no significant networking concepts because a lot of it is automatic. It's plug and play. Of course, difference in depth, everything from two-factor authentication through to support for single sign-on or Active Directory. So multiple levels of security in there, which we call defense in depth. And then finally, a very, very comprehensive audit trail that we're going to be talking about shortly. So remember I said that this one is very easy and very intuitive to use. When the solution, the platform was introduced, one of the things we wanted to make sure is that there's no software to install. One, because it introduces more work, which obviously nobody wants. But secondly, the fact that it's cloud native, it means that security is continuous, that it is always up to date. And when it is fixed in the cloud, so at the top end, then when anybody connects, you're always connecting to the latest, greatest, and most secure. The solution has been designed so that it's scalable, whether you've got multiple projects or customers as a machine builder. This will help you very easily manage that, whether you're trying to manage multiple gateways, whether you're trying to manage team members, which, in some instances, you may want to invite the end customer, for example, to access the system remotely, which they would see that as an advantage versus having to connect to the VPN from the home and then wanting to reconnect to the machine. And again, as soon as you connect to the VPN, you're getting a more wider network access, which could introduce vulnerabilities. So the idea here with the platform was, very easy to manage lots of gateways, lots of team members, customers, and so forth. And the other key big factor is that this is completely agnostic. So it'll work on Windows, it'll work on Mac, mobile platforms, tablets, and so forth. One of the security features I wanted to very quickly touch upon is vLotto, virtual lockout tagout, where fundamentally you give the control of the remote access to your customer. So, we looked at the benefits of remote access, and everybody understands that. But what they're a bit, many customers are concerned about is that they really, in a lot of the solutions, they don't know who's connecting when and for how long. And we solve that problem with vLotto because here you may access the gateway, but for you to access the gateway in this instance is the remote access device itself. But if you want to connect to any of the end devices, so that's the HMI or the controller or the drive or anything, you have to request permission. And that entire process is real time, completely auditable and fully electronic. So there's no there's no physically walking to a site and turning on the switch or plugging in the cable or any of that, because those kinds of things defeats the purpose of remote access. So with vLotto, when it is enabled, the customer, the remote user wanting to access the system, has to request very specific access to a specific device on the network, to specific gateway, excuse me, which is where that requiring IP address symbol when taken, they have to say that I want to request this specific IP on your network. And then it's up to the authorizer whether they give them access or not. I also spoke about, when I said, when we focus on security, this is another feature for OEMs where you can, as a machine builder, you can have lots of gateways. You might have, let's say, 10 machines at a single plant, where each one of those machines might have a gateway, or you could have lots of customers. And when you had team members, you can now give them the ability to access each gateway across multiple projects individually rather than giving them access to everything. The audit trail, so and I've put this as a separate section because remember, what we're looking at here in this case is the customer wanting to improve the efficiency and wanting to look at an additional revenue stream in terms of services. And the audit trail for this particular OEM played a role because of the detail, the amount, how detailed it is in terms of the information that is captured and stored. So this particular screenshot here shows the ability, with the vLotto process that I spoke about, where you're requesting permission and you can be either given permission or revoked permission at any time. But one of the things that the audit trail does is, it tells you who logged in for how long. It doesn't tell you what changes they made because we don't track customer data, as in, like a PLC change, but we can certainly say if they made any changes to the actual gateway, to the actual security settings, and things like that, or how long did they connect for and so forth. What we do measure is how much data goes through the VPN tunnel when they do make a connection. The audit trail allows you to filter based on certain characteristics, and you can also export the data as well. So how did our solution help this particular machine builder? Intuitive. So again, I'll go back to those two main things, which is intuitiveness and security. So if you look at the intuitiveness, our solution really helped them by reducing the time required to deploy this remote access solution. And because it was so simple and because it's scalable, this has now become their standard. So every machine that they build and every retrofit that they do, they drop in a remote access gateway in there that allows them to remotely support this customer rather than, let's say, having to drive or fly out there every single time. And then the Intuitiveness allows them to manage multiple customers and devices as well, which is very important for a machine builder, because they've got, like I said, customers all around the globe, so they want to be able to manage those customers efficiently, discreetly. Certainly, you don't want customer A to know about customer B and so forth. So those are the things that's built in. Security, the vLotto, which allowed them to put this in but still get permission from their customer when they're connecting and providing the support, so the customer is then aware. I think one of the key reasons you want to do that is because the customer always know what's happening on the factory floor. So even if you've got, let's say, the service contract or anything like that, the fact that the customer is involved in you knowing when you're accessing the machine and at what time, they can judge to see if there's an ongoing emergency or another thing, that they can decide to revoke your access. And then the other that was very, very important to them was the Audit Trail, because this gave them a very detailed record of whom they connected to, which person connected, how long did they connect. They kind of used the Audit Trail really to create a very simple time card, which could then be used for invoicing. So remember that they were looking at this as, what additional services or what they can do to generate sort of this additional revenue stream, this services revenue stream. So, and again, as a machine builder, not all machine builders are very big. They're not billion-dollar businesses. If you've got a smaller business, then the ability to invest in very specialized systems where the cost of return does not justify that expense, then the Audit Trail is a great way, because now you still have this time management to be able to go and really find out how much support you've provided. And let's say if you've got a contract for 20 hours a month, then this gives you a very quick and a very easy way to add up that time. And then once you cross that, let's say, the ability to then invoice the customer for the additional support time. Okay, so in summary, we all understand the benefits of remote access, but when you're looking for a solution, you want to make sure that that solution is OT friendly and IT secure, because remote access is great. You saw all of the benefits, but it's not something that you're using all the time. So if it's not friendly to use, and if you're always spending a couple of hours trying to understand how the solution works or getting it up and going, it defeats the purpose. Again, the return on investment is not there. So you want something that's very, very OT friendly, super simple to use, but at the same time, very IT secure. So it's sort of got all of the multiple levels, whether it's advanced login features like token-based two-factor authentication or single sign-on Active Directory. You just want multiple levels of security to make sure that it is very, very secure. So remote access is critical to maintaining OT readiness, which is basically uptime. It will help in reducing your support costs and downtime. And like I said in the previous slide, the solution must be OT friendly and IT secure. The Audit Trail is an important part for future forensic review, and it kind of provides a very good traceable timeline of the remote connect activity, whether it is filtering for who connected and for how long, or whether it is what changes they did to the device or security changes. It provides a very traceable timeline. And I hope I've shown that remote access can be a revenue stream rather than just an expense. Okay. So that's kind of the end of my my presentation. There is a question that's come in that says, if I got in the right way, you want to connect basically any kind of an end device. So I need to know what is properly protocol port of the specific end device in order to open the connection. Is that correct? Or all ports are already opened as an VPN connection? That's a fantastic question. So there are two ways to use vLotto. You can use it just simply to say, I want access to the gateway as a open, secure, encrypted tunnel. And that way, any device that's connected to the gateway, you can access. So let's say, for example, if you've got a HMI, a drive, and a PLC, you'd be able to access all of that. But then let's say, for example, you've got a HMI specialist, you've got a PLC specialist, and you don't particularly want the PLC specialist to access the HMI. By requesting access to a specific IP, this is basically nothing but whitelisting in a way, then you can ensure that the PLC specialist is only connecting to the PLC and not to the drive or to the HMI. So another comment which says that normally IT always complain about having remote access connection. Is there any material from ProSoft that can help us convince? Again, another good question. Yes, there is. So if you do visit our website, we have information that can help you communicate effectively with IT as to the features that's available. But also, if you've got very specific requirements or there's a form that needs to be filled, we can help you with that. My email address is vprakash, that's VPRAKASH at prosoft-technology.com. Feel free to email me and I can certainly help you with that.
Okay.
Sorry, Julianne, have you received any other questions?
Let's see. I think I do have one question here. Oh, it says, how long are the audit logs stored online?
That's a good question. So the audit logs are stored online for anywhere between 30 and 60 days. And the idea with that is then you can then export that information required to save for future forensic use.
Okay, there's a follow-up. Can they be exported?
Yes, they can certainly be exported to a CSV file.
All right. I think that's it if there are no more questions.
Excellent. Thank you again for your time. Stay safe. And we look forward to talking with you and soon. And like I said, if there's anything we can do to help, please contact us or your local distributor.
Very good. Thanks, Vishal.
Thank you, Julianne. Bye. Bye, everyone.